Hello and welcome to this episode of Demystified as we explore home cooking in a modern world. Hello, I'm Linda and I'm here with Paul, my friend.
Oh, you've changed up the intro. Look,
Well, last week
told you
said,
all about it last week.
I know. So
They
I
haven't changed it that drastically, though. Let's be
No,
honest.
well, I did say we'd keep this one until 2021 ended.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. You?
Well, I'm a little bit sad.
Oh no.
Well, no,
Sad
not
days.
sad. Sad's maybe a little bit tough. But my garden, it hasn't been a good year for me and trying different things. So as
Considering
you know,
how much people were staying at home, you'd think your garden would be going good.
well, no, the garden's going really well. It's just, I think my attempts. So, I wasn't happy with my olives and that was a big disaster. I've only got 5 huge buckets of them.
Yeah.
Garlic.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's wrong with it?
Really small.
that's
small
okay.
bulbs. So I left 3 in there because I thought I've got to...
Super small often packs a punch with garlic.
Well, I just thought I've got to do something there. They looked like they were all about to die. Everything was dying off. And everything I read said, this is the time to pull it out. And I'm like, okay, really small. And I did keep them. Doug was like, really, that's not really a garlic. That looks like a just overweight spring onion.
Okay.
But I thought, no, they're...
Good old supportive Doug.
Well, he had a point because they did look pretty bad, and the cat was laughing at them and like playing with them when she found them on the ground. Oh, no, stop! That's our garlic produce. But I had to plant tomato.
Yeah.
I just had to pull them out and go, no, that's it. Putting in tomatoes, just so I feel like something good is happening in that veggie patch.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been a great year.
Oh well.
So I'm not sure my attempts at veggie patching is going so well. The sage I planted from somewhere else has just taken off.
Yeah, it's it's not. You don't have the easiest backyard for a veggie patch. Let's be honest.
No, but we've had some big wins. Beans and things were surprised. But this year has been not my stellar year in the veggie patch.
And I've over the years of now we're in our 3rd house in 2 years, I think. Brunswick to Coburg to Preston. Different experiences because my little fella doesn't particularly like the idea of gardening, but when stuff's growing, is super into it. And I think, I know very little about it. My theory on gardening is that if you can't just water it and it doesn't grow, then I just don't want to play that much. I'm happy to mow the lawns. Yeah. I'm happy to do labour around the garden, make things look nice and all the rest of it. But I don't want to get into fertilisers and all of that palaver. I just don't have that sort of level of commitment to it. That said, though, I think the more different things I plant, because over the years as he's been growing, there are more different things that I have planted to keep him interested. So we need heirloom carrots because they're nice different colours, broad beans. For some reason, he won't eat rocket or arugula, the Americans would know it as, unless we grow it. And it's a funny thing for a kid to like. It's quite peppery.
Yeah, it's quite,
So lettuces, all that sort of stuff. But the one thing that I have learned over time is that there's not one soil that works for everything. No. And I think probably your garlic.
One soil, yes.
Yeah, and there'll be experts out there that know far, far more than you and I, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of that comes down to, I bought cubic metres of soil for the vegetable beds that I built. And it was called a veggie mix, but I just don't think that a veggie soil suits every vegetable. Of course it doesn't, right? It just, I know there's seasons and all the rest of it, but I had one really good season where the carrots were perfect. They were picture perfect, super straight, beautiful colours and all the rest of it. And then the following year they were all twisted and gnarly and it doesn't matter. At home, you just whatever. But it was the soil. There was 2 different soils, and I was like, well, okay. maybe that's got something to do with it. Tomatoes as well, like, you know, there's some stuff which grows anywhere, but maybe with your garlic.
I had high hopes because it's the third year I've tried growing garlic, and these were better than the ones in the previous 2 years. But
oh, so you really suck at it. You don't just suck a little bit.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul.
You suck 3 years at it.
No, I really suck at it. And
I didn't realise 3 years worth of rubbish results.
Yeah, no, it's really like...
It might be time to move on.
That's why I think Dougie was like, you know, a lot of effort and no really reward. Whereas, you know, we've got a couple of spots in the garden beds that are traditionally for us little flower beds. We'll throw a tomato and one will just thrive in there, and it looks great, you know, sort of tomatoes popping out amongst pelargonians and things. But no, I really suck at garlic, growing garlic. So one more year, Paul. I am persistent. One more year, I will try. But I was really looking forward to it this year. I'd done everything right. I'd soaked the
So how big are we talking? Like, how I'm trying to find, like golf, smaller than a golf ball.
Oh yeah.
Like.
Yeah, smaller than a golf
20-cent piece.
Maybe.
Oh Jesus! So they're tiny.
No,
so it's not even worth doing anything with.
Well, you could. Yeah, no. But I have kept them because I think I can separate a couple and have really small, like little tiny cloves to put in. I'm going to try them. I am going to try them.
To cook with?
Just to throw into like, you know, a hole.
How many have you got?
Oh, I've got about, all up, probably 7 cloves, individual cloves I could separate from about 8, because the other ones are just so small.
Oh my God.
If you could see Paul's face, everybody.
So this is ant garlic. This is the garlic the chef ants use.
This is not your elephant bulb garlic at all. This is the anti-elephant bulb garlic. They're really small, and yet they look so
what does
good.
your research say?
That, well, my latest research, and I'm sticking to this one, was you know, I love Ron from Blackburn. Sorry, Ron, if you're listening, but, you know, you and your anti-vaccine stance. And from garlic was that you need to have so many nights below 10 degrees.
Yeah, you say, like, this is the thing.
And Melbourne just wasn't that cold this year.
I disagree. Yes, it was.
Well, I don't think we had. Well, my garlic says otherwise. And so Ron from Blackburn said.
So what is that? What was his stat? How many nights? 10 nights below.
Below 10.
10 nights below 10, and you think that has happened over the past 3 years?
Well, I'm hanging on to that, Paul, because I really don't know what it is.
I'm going to get in touch with the Bureau of Meteorology.
No, Ron from Blackburn said, along with
whatever Ron
his
said.
research says about vaccines.
I know, but I mean, who can? Yeah.
No,
we're way off topic here.
I know we are, but I was so looking forward to then exploring what we could do with, you know, garlic.
Yeah, well, what I was going to suggest to you was if you actually had something that you could hold in your hand, not with tweezers.
Not with a sieve.
I was going to say to you, why don't you just roast it all, and that way you can just squeeze it out of whatever. But if they're that small,
I don't think we're squeezing anything. We're just putting them in whole and hoping some flavour comes through.
Yeah, right. Okay, disappointing.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But realistically, like, okay, so how much effort did you have to put in to get this thing started?
When I say we, I mean
Doug.
So poor Dougie.
Yeah.
Well, no, we planted them. I did the preparation and had them in different bowls for the different types. I had 3 different types.
Yeah.
And soaked them, and all the shoots were starting to come out, and I planted them and pushed the cat out of the way because every time I'm in the veggie patch, she likes to come and help me dig things up, and so I had to push her out of the way. Got them all in, had them all labelled, had them in nice neat rows. We watered them, we took weeds out. Dougie took more weeds out than I did, admittedly. And they were all looking pretty good. And then very hopeful because I planted months and months and months ago. And that's the result, like little tiny teaspoon size. And I'm thinking,
yeah, that does suck.
A lot of effort. And there's so many of them. And so I left 3 in there to see if it does need just more time. And planted tomatoes and some chilli and other stuff around them. But, I was just going to...
Yeah.
I really wanted to talk to you about what we could grow, what we could do with garlic as a flavour. sometimes
Yeah.
they have a reaction to it and they think it's too much.
Yeah, so my sister-in-law is allergic to garlic.
So that's why I thought we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Except
We've
I
gone
don't
way off
really-
track, yeah.
don't have any
Yeah. Well, we can talk about what you could do with garlic if you had some.
in another podcast.
No, let's just touch on it quickly.
Okay.
So there's a couple of different things to note when you're buying garlic as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very particular about, not necessarily, I am, where my garlic is from. So I look quite often, if I can, and if you look at Australian garlic when it is around, it is very small, always. So it's not often around. I will almost exclusively, because when it's not around, you have to buy imported, shoot for Mexico, Southern American garlic, versus Northern Hemisphere. China is a massive garlic producer. Chinese garlic I'd just steer clear of. It's really astringent. I really don't like the flavour of it. There is a marked difference in flavour in my eyes. I'm not a huge garlic user. Certainly use it at home, probably more than at work, because it can be a little bit confronting to people when you're cooking for them. And you got to get a feel for which garlic you like using, because 3 cloves of garlic in a recipe that's raw can be knock your socks off powerful, especially if you're making a dressing or something like that. Like raw garlic is super, like wake your eyes up, sort of can be super strong. So I kind of prefer Mexican, Southern American, anywhere down there, or if I can get it, Australian garlic, absolutely. And the things that you can do with it, what my favourite thing to do is slow roast garlic. So just get a whole bulb of garlic, cut the base off it, so that where the roots are, just to expose the cloves, leave it in its wrapping or paper or whatever you want to call it. Put a little bit of oil in some foil, wrap the whole thing in
What's
foil.
oil, Paul?
Well, you can in this scenario you can use a little bit of olive oil if you want to. Wrap it all in foil, squeeze it really tightly so you got a little ball of foil. Stick that in the oven at about 150 for about 2 hours, and then when it comes out, all you need to do is let it cool for a little bit and just grab the whole head of garlic and just squeeze, and all this like oozing garlic, golden brown sweetness comes out. And if you actually cover it in oil, that roasted garlic will keep for ages.
And what do you use it in? What do you use it?
Seriously, you can just put it on toast and eat it like that. It's delicious. Through a mayonnaise, I find really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to like roasted garlic mayo just as a accompaniment to a niçoise salad. It's one of my favourite things is a good niçoise salad. You want ultimate garlic bread? Roasted garlic every day of the week. So just rub that through some butter with parsley, standard stuff, but because you've roasted it, the depth of flavour and the sweetness you get out of it is totally different to the real strong astringency, I'm not sure is the right word, but of fresh garlic. So I very much always have some roasted garlic in my fridge, always. If I've just got the oven on for something else, I'm running out, I'll just chuck some garlic in.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
And buy garlic that isn't peeled. Because peeled garlic goes through a washing process. That's how they get the garlic skins off. There are some clever tricks out there to peel garlic if you buy your garlic whole and peel it. One is to just get a silicone tube, we make icy poles for our little fella.
Oh, yeah.
In silicone icy pole sort of things. If you put your garlic in there and just roll it in the tube, it frees the cloves. Of course, you can crush them with your knife. That frees them up as well. You can put them in a jar of water with a lid on and just shake them vigorously, and that will free them. But I like the idea of cooking the whole thing in its skin and just squeezing out this like delicious golden brown, and that on like a good bit of sourdough toast with a little bit of salt on it. Oh, delicious.
Well, I actually love garlic. Love.
Yeah,
I love it the Spanish way, and I had it the other day for lunch. Toast and I just got a raw garlic clove and just scraped it over the top.
Yeah.
Sliced tomato and a bit of olive oil and happy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Happy
I mean,
with
that's
that.
so. I would do the same thing, but I would spread over roasted garlic.
No, I might try that too.
Yeah.
And the other night I was making dinner and Doug nearly had a heart attack because I was making chicken with garlic and I got this recipe and what can't you do with chicken, garlic and cream? And I think the recipe was like 5 or 6 cloves sort of crushed and chopped and 5 or 6 whole thrown in. And Doug's like, that is way too much garlic. And I said, well, if it is, it's just you and me, honey, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it was quite subtle.
Yeah.
It was really...
So there's a very famous...
It wasn't actually overpowering, and we were really surprised because at other times, as you said, 1 or 2 could be like eye-watering, knock your socks off.
Yeah, but you're cooking it.
But we're cooking it, and it was just... In fact, it became one of Doug's favourite sort of...
Well, there's a very famous dish, which is, I think it's chicken with 40 cloves of garlic. It's a known famous dish. Yeah.
So this must have been a take on that.
Yeah, yeah. But it's interesting, and when you cook garlic, I mean, it's funny actually, different cultures say different things. You'll never see, or I think very rarely will you see a Frenchman when they're doing a preparation and they do, you know, their sofrito, let's say, onions, mirepoix, whatever, onions, celery, carrot, you know, starting the base of something. You'll very rarely see them get any colour on the garlic when they're cooking. But if you look at some Asian cultures that do wok cooking and stuff like that, they encourage that coloured caramelisation of the garlic. It's very different, and it gives you totally different flavour profiles. So I mean, my other favourite thing is making chili jam.
Oh.
And so that's
my other favourite.
Fried shallot. As simple as it, like you can make it as hard or as simple as you like, but fried shallots, like deep fried, finely sliced red shallots, deep fried, not super hot, long red chilies, so lombok chilies I call them, and deep fried garlic, so very finely sliced and deep fried. So it's all this golden brown, deep fried stuff. You drain everything on paper towel, stick it in a blitzer with some tamarind, a little bit of oil, and away you go. Blitz that, absolutely delicious. Couldn't tell you quantities, I haven't made it in ages, but like properly good.
Oh look, it's Christmas coming up.
Yeah.
And
stick a prawn in that. Oh,
I
don't
would
even
love
eat prawns, but yeah.
No, you can't eat them.
Yeah.
But I can. So I think we should.
You want to make some, do you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
you can go buy the ingredients, and you can peel all the garlic.
Oh, happy to do that.
Oh right.
I don't mind it. Don't mind it at all.
Well, it'll give you use for your
And I can
cooking with
say-
steam apron.
and
You
then
can
I-
actually put it on with a reason.
Then I can say we've cooked. I've helped.
Yeah, well, it helped. Yeah. Okay.
I can say I've helped then.
Yeah, okay.
Because you have to give it to me then that I
Yeah.
helped.
Yeah.
If I did that.
Okay. Fine.
If I do that, will you do that?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do that next week or something.
Lovely.
All
That
right.
would be great. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Garlic.
No, thank you.
Get on it.
Exactly.
It's
Well,
good for your heart. Really good for your heart too.
I'd like to get on it, but
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you know,
anywho,
go buy it.
I don't understand. I would have thought in Australia we had enough climate variances between Tassie and far north Queensland that we could have it all year round, and yet it's.
I find
there
it.
aren't enough
I
growers.
find it hard to find. There may well be. Maybe it's just where we're shopping. I don't know.
No, I go looking.
The garlic that I
Oh.
often find is from South Australia.
Oh really? I go looking
Yeah.
and I can often find imports, and I'm happy. I'm happy because I love garlic. Go through a lot of it at home.
Yeah.
But I go looking and I think, surely we haven't sold out. And apparently there's a
Well, there is a season.
shortage of growers as well. Apparently, I've been told. Maybe that was just by the person trying to get me out of their shop as I'm going. Are you sure you don't have any garlic? Like none?
There's a shortage of growers because everyone's having the same problem that you are. There's apparently, according to you, there's not, and Ron, your
Ron's
mate,
on
there's not
Blackbird.
enough bloody cold days. I'm not
Well,
buying.
there we go.
I'm not
Well,
buying. There's
can't
plenty of
convince
cold
you.
days. But
Well, we'll see.
we'll see.
Mr. Bureau of Meteorology.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
gonna
happy
ring. I'm
cooking.
gonna ring Jane Bunn. going to ring Boston.
Jane Bunn, for those who don't know, is a very well-known
weather meteorologist.
Yeah, who presents the weather in such a professional way.
Yeah.
It's not just, pointing at a screen and saying it'll be sunny, it'll be cold, it'll be raining.
I think she does like a 10-day forecast or something like that.
She does. She's amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, and we call her Boston.
Boston Bun.
Because her surname's Bun, so she's Boston.
Oh, that's funny.
We don't know her.
She's never heard it before either.
We don't know her.
We don't know her. We wouldn't know her if we went into her, but
no.
That's funny.
Anyway, so I'll get on the blower to Boston and find out about this.
Whether that's true or not.
Might have to have a little chat to Ronnie Boy, I think. Let's see.
I'm sure there's a few people wanting to talk to him.
Righto.
Well, thank you.
It's Friday.
And,
I'm going.
Yeah, it's time to go home and have a frosty.
Yep.
Take care, everybody. Happy cooking.
Happy cooking.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.